Welcome to Lesson 2. We're going to study each head parts in more detail. What I'm going to teach you is the basic starting point. My drawings would look stronger on the shapes and exaggerated compared to real life, which may look softer and harder to see. However, this is to train your brain and help you remember the shapes better, so when you go draw from real life reference, you can see it and break down the shapes yourself. Also, everyone's facial features are different, and some of the information may not apply to all people. So I will not be able to cover all of the different shapes. Use this as a base and please take your own time to practice all the different parts. Let's begin by drawing eyes from the front view. Draw a circle. The circle is the size of the eyeball. The inner pink corner of the eye, known as the caruncle, will be going a bit out of the circle. And the outer corner of the eye will be touching or close to touching the end of the eyeball. The top and bottom each have simple 3 straight lines, each curving the opposite with one another. I found this method the best way to draw expressive and accurate width of the eye. When drawing the eyes, even when you don't see it, it's good to draw with 3 distinct and clear lines for the top and bottom. It's easier to shape that way and harder to fix if you draw soft, round lines. Especially when you start to paint, you can lose the energy from the sketch. The eye bag will follow the roundness of the eyeball. So does the double eyelid. Even with monolid, you can see a faint shadow of the eyeball on the eyelid or sometimes some faint lines of creases. The iris size is like the size of half the eyeball. Iris are larger when they are on baby eyes with only small white area of the eyes, and the iris seems smaller when turned into adult, since there are more wider open area from the eyelids. Apparently, eyes grow until we are around 20 and 21 years old, and the weight continues to grow in our lifetime. I learned this interesting fact by researching the size of eyeballs. If you are drawing East Asian eyes, sometimes the caruncle is not noticeable compared to other races and looks like it angles down. The width will sometimes look shorter too, making the iris look large. A common double eyelid that you won't see as much with other race is it tucks into the inner corner. I have this type of double eyelid as a mixed Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese person. The double eyelids that are not tucked in, a common look you will see is the double eyelid are closer to the eyelashes. I tend to find it harder to draw East Asian eyes because they are rounder and softer, so it is difficult to break down the shapes. I find it easier to draw East Asian eyes after practicing references with more strong and apparent shapes and angles because it helps me to know where to break down the shapes to make it easier to draw. So when practicing with soft eyes reference, try to draw with strong angles and avoid drawing round lines. You can always soften it later. It's much harder to do it the other way around. The direction of the eyelashes change as it circle around the eye. Use the 3 separate angles of the eyelash area as reference. For example, the right side of the eyelash will face the right. The left to the left and the middle part will stand straight, but the middle still will have some curves. The bottom eyelashes will be shorter than the top. When drawing lashes facing down, there will still be some flow to the lines instead of stiff straight lines. For eyes in an angle, using the roundness of the eyeball, draw the eyelids around it so it is wrapping around the eye. When drawing the iris, remember that it is on the surface of the eyeball, so the iris shape will change when moved. Like imagine you painted a circle on a ball and you turn it around. The circle will become narrow as it moves away. In profile, the iris will look more oval-shaped. To be more clear, I recommend drawing the iris more like a half moon. In reality, the pupil will be a bit behind the outer surface of the eye, but it's your style choice if you want to draw it touching the edge like an animated character. It's especially not noticeable when you are looking far away from the face. When I draw the eyes looking up, I draw it like a half moon. You can curve the bottom eyelids or make it straight if the face is not looking up as much. You can make the eyes look like it is looking up by making the outer corner of the eyes facing down. When looking down, the same as looking up, the eyes will look like a moon. The caruncle will not be changing angle, so it will be like drawing straight and dipping down the eyelids. The outer corner of the eyes will be curving like a hook because of the overlaps of the top eyelids. When the eyes are squinting, the eye bag shape and the wrinkles near the caruncle and the outer corner of the eyes are noticeable. Try looking up smiling in Google for reference. The upper and lower eyelids come closer together. The bottom eyelids is an effective way to express emotions. Here is a blink in order. The top lid moves down and the bottom barely moves. The eyelashes will start to angle down and the double eyelid will start to faintly disappear as the eyes blink. When the eyes are strongly squeezing shut, there will be wrinkles. All of them will be angled toward the caruncle or the nose. You might also see some eyelashes start to stand up when the eyes are squeezed shut. For eyebrows, use 5 dots with straight lines. It's pretty helpful to watch makeup artist tutorials on how they shape their eyebrows. The outer end of the eyebrow are usually 1/3 of the size compared to the whole shape. From the inner corner, the eyebrow hair will be standing up and start to angle down as we draw the outer part of the eyebrow. For an angry expression, there will still be an arch in the inner corner as the eyebrow angles down like a check mark. Wrinkles will gather in the middle of the eyebrows. To emphasize the emotion more, you can draw the eyelid of the eyes looking angled too. For a sad emotion, the inner eyebrow will start higher as the rest angle down. Drooping the eyes will help the effect. Now let's draw the nose. Separate the bridge of the nose with 3 rectangles, 1 flat for the middle and 2 angled for the sides. Draw a hexagon for the bottom part of the nose. That will be the part where the nose angles down from the tip and where there will be a shadow if there is a spotlight from above. Draw a circle for the tip of the nose and 3 corners on the bottom. Draw a diamond-like shape in the middle and an angle towards the middle for the area around the eyebrow. You can erase the guidelines after drawing the nose. When drawing in an angle, the rectangle on the farther side will become narrow and more angled, and the rectangle closer to us will become more flat-shaped and less angled. The shape's angle will follow the angle of the guidelines. When drawing in profile, the nose will stick out in an angle. Try to draw the individual shapes of the nose so it gives depth to the nose. If you avoid drawing the shapes on the nose, it will give a flat shape. Let's draw the mouth. Draw the inside first. A V shape for the middle and S curve with a small check mark with thicker edge in the outer corner for the left and right. Draw a heart shape in the middle for the Cupid's bow. For the bottom lips, it will curve up in the middle and an opposite curve to the right and left side. The middle part of the lower lips will look more puffed compared to its sides. The top and bottom lips are completely different in shapes individually. The upper lips are flat and angular, while the lower are plumped and rounded. When drawing mouth in different angles, the mouth feels like it is wrapping around a circle. So imagine there is a ball in the mouth and keep the arch of the mouth line. In profile, you can play with many different lip shapes as you can see here. I'm drawing multiple mouths. The upper lip can sometimes be in front or behind the bottom lips. The corner of the mouth will be where the cheek touches. By moving the corner of the mouth, you will be able to convey all kinds of emotions. Ears can be the most complicated part to draw. Let's break it down to simple shapes. I like to see ears as 2 abstract shapes, like this. When drawing all of the lines, try to use strong straight lines, even for the rounded parts. For the earlobe, I will draw 2 ovals, which will help me find the shape inside of the ear. The top hoop is kind of tucked into the middle hole. Pay attention to the shape I'm drawing in the ear. You will notice there is a Y shape curved in the ear. It's a bit fatter in the middle and it tapers as the top of the Y goes into the ear and also for the bottom of the Y as it curves down. The inside of the ear is shaped like a hook. Now I will draw the ear in different angles. As the ears turn its back, you will notice that it will look like a S-curve. You can emphasize an ear in an angle by making the ear that is far away turn smaller in width. Remember to overlap where it's necessary. You may also draw the Y part of the ear sticking out as the ear turns. Use mine as reference and also look up some ear photo for practice.